Welcome back to CET 150, and in this class we are going to show you how to actually add contours and make contour maps on Carlson software. Now what we're going to do is I want you guys to open up that grid survey PNG. It's a picture of it, and I've got it actually sitting in front of me too to make a grid. This is actually a grid survey, and what we're doing is we've got grids and we're able to use those to have elevation points on it so that we can make the contour of the land. Okay, so we're going to get into this, and first thing I want to do is go to setting, or actually let's just do file new, and on this one I want to go ahead and see if I've got myself a template somewhere just to get started with. Here it is, Carlson Civil template. Now open that up, and I go now into my model. Exit out of all this, and I go into my model space to draw in. I'm going to go to settings, drawing setup, and on this one, roughly I'm going to say 1 inch equals 50 foot is fine. Change this to 0.125, change this to 0.125, change this to 1, and everything looks good, so hit OK on that. Also, whatever my horizontal scale is, I need to change it here. Change it to 1 to 50. We're all set up. Now I want to make this grid. Now you see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are our grids, and we went out there and surveyed this and used those straight grids and set points and got the elevations, which made it really easy for this piece of property. And undoubtedly somebody's going to be building on this or something to that effect, so they had to have this really precise. Now this has only got a 1 foot contour interval, so it's really a really small interval, so you know it has to be really precise when we do that. And that's just showing it's 1 foot in elevation from each of the contour lines. Remember, there's 5 contour lines. There are 4 intermediate and 1 index. The index is the heavy one that is usually broken up. It has the elevation written on it. Like this paper you're looking at, you see the 60. That's an index. And then you'll have the little intermediates. And this one is 1 foot apart as far as elevation. So what happens is you can kind of look at it here and you can kind of see there's 65 and there's a 60. And you know there's 5 sets. There's 5 contour lines in a set, and if you take 65 to 60, the big indexes, there's 5 divided by 5. That would make this a 1 foot contour interval. Okay, let's get drawing on this. Drawing 2D polyline, and what I want to do is set this thing at 0, 0. Ortho that, and this thing is each one of these from 1 to 2 to 3, they're all equal, and that's going to be 100 foot each. And from A to B, and each one of them is 100 foot. So they're going to be little squares. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 100 foot. Actually, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 600 feet. So I'll put 600 in there, comma 0, enter. There's that line. The next one will be 600, comma 600, enter. Coming back over using absolute unit, 0, comma 600, and then back down. Now, what I need to do is, you see all this right now is a polyline. I need to explode it. So go edit, come down to explode, standard explode, click on it, right click to enter. Now it's exploded. Now you're using IntelliCAD, where I've got AutoCAD background, and they basically work very similar to one another. There's a little difference between them, but not much. Really the one thing I see is probably in layout, trying to put a viewport on is really the biggest thing that's different. But anyhow, we've got this laid out, and I'm just going to do an edit and an offset, standard offset of 100 foot, and it makes it easy to place my grids. Just like that. and we'll come up through here and place our grids, as you all see. Now let's go in here and draw text, and I want to do a standard text, and I want to put it here. Just click here, and I want to put A, and actually it'd be like that, A. Actually, I can just grab that grip. I can kind of move that a little bit. There's A, and do a copy and edit, copy, standard copy, shut that off. You all can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to come back up. There's no sense reinventing the wheel, so I'm just going to go in here, cap lock it. That's B. Double click this one. It's C. Double click this one. It's D. Double click this one. It's E. Double click this one. It would be F. Double click this one. It would be G. Okay. Do the same thing across. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do a copy, edit again, do a copy, standard copy. Grab this one and take off that ortho. I want to put it right there. This one will be number 1. Copy, edit, do a copy, standard copy. Get that ortho on, get it lined up. And then just go there and just start double clicking. This one will be 2. This will be 3. This will be 4. This one will be 5. This will be 6. Of course, this one will be 7. Okay? Well, we didn't need a 7. So I want to take and move all these over. It's my bad. Edit, but we can also fix things. So it makes using software so nice. Just like that. Now you've got your grid set up. Everything looks good. Now we're going to go in here and put our elevations in. And to do so, come up here to points, draw locate points. And inside here you need no descriptions. You don't need to locate on real Z-axis. All you need is your elevation shots. So you want to do a screen pick, and this is what you do. I come over here, and I just want basically an intersection turned on. And that way, I can come here and just click right there on that intersection with that turned on, just like that. So click up here. See, they're missing one number down here. It should have been 1 through 7. I don't know why they got like it. That's okay though. We'll click right there, and of course when you do, I want a new, and I'll save it somewhere where I can find it. I want to call this one Grid Survey, and hit open. And that first one, the elevation is 57.7. Enter. Come down here and click on the next one. It's 56.2. Enter. Click on that next one. It's 57. Enter. The next one is 58.8. Enter. The next one is 60.2. Enter. The next one is 61.4. And then 62.4. The next one is 59.2. The next one is 57.7. The next point that we got was 58.2. The next point that we have is 60.2. The next point is 61.7, 62.8, and then 63.7, 60.6, 59, 59.2, 61.2, 63, 64.7, 65.4, 61.8, 60.1, 59.9, 62.1, 63.6, 64.5, 64.9, 63.2, 61.6, 60.5, 61.1, 61.6, 62.3, 63.2. Next point over is 65.2, 64.9, 60.8, 58.7, 59.3, 60.5, 61.7, and then the last row that we have here, 64, 62.2, 60.2, and you can see there's really not a whole lot of difference in the elevations of these shots that has been taken. And we got two more here, 56.7, and the last one is 60.5. Now you got all your elevations. If you messed up on one, it's no big deal. You just figure out which one that you messed up on. You go up here to points, edit points, and you'll be able to find exactly what elevation you messed up, and you can go in there and fix it. Because like 36, you just got to sling down here to 36, and right there is the elevation. Okay. Whenever you fix it, just do File, Save, and Exit, and you're good. Now, we're going to add the contour lines to these, and what I need to do is, though, go into my layers, and I want to make myself a grid layer, new. I want to call it grid, and that's fine. And when I do that, I'm just going to grab all of my grids, set that current for right now. I just want my grids. So all my grids are chosen, and I want to go here and just change that to grid. Alright, just like that. My points are already there. They make points automatically. If I click on that, you see how points, it automatically makes points for you, which is really nice. So I got the grid layer made. I got that layer. Now we're going to do the contours. Now, like I said, these are 1 foot contour intervals, and this is how you do it. Come up here to Surface, Triangulate, and Contour. Click on it. And when you do that, you're going to come in here, and you got Triangulate, you got Contour. Now, Triangulate is figuring volume of something, how much dirt's there, how much coal's there, or something like that. Contour is your contour lines. So when I get into this, I want to make sure I got Draw Contours on, Contour by Interval, and I want to slide down and go into Contour Layer. It's going to make myself a layer, but my contour interval is 1. Okay? Draw Index Contours, make sure that's on, and every 5th one that it'll make a contour interval. And I want to select that and do well, no, I'll come up here to Labels. And I want to do a little bit more with this. When I go to Labels, it's going to show some stuff. It makes a layer for my text. The only thing that I want text is going to be my contour, or going to be my index contour. Okay? Label contours, and there should be a option, label index contours only. Yes, that's all I want. And I want it to line with the contour. That is perfect. Then selection, only thing I want to do now is really simple. Just hit OK. Start over here, just click one time, let off, and come up here, right click to enter, boom. Put my contours in. Now there's something wrong. Do y'all see that? There's something wrong here. Something majorly wrong. I've got some goof ups, don't I? Do y'all see this? All of it was looking really good up until these. If you look in here, this is 31.8, should have been 61.8. Oh, I see. This one over here, I've got 6.8, and it should be 60.8. So what I want to do is just do edit, undo that program. Now I want to go into points, edit points, and I got to fix mine now. And I got to fix the, let's see which one I have to fix. Let's see. 31.8 is number 22. Number 31.8, that should be 61.8. Okay, file, save. See, it changed it. Now 38 was the next one that I had to fix. 6.8, that should have been 60.8. Okay, so file, save, and exit. Now everything should be right. So now when I go to surface, triangulate and contour, everything should still be there, set up the way I wanted it. Selection or labels, contours, and I just hit OK on this. Come in here, boom. That looks a little bit better. Now it's kind of bending a little bit more so, and if you get that and you want it to look a little bit more smoother, edit, undo that, and I'll show you another thing. Go to surface, triangulate and contour, and there is actually smoothing. You can put leave it on this Bezier smoothing, and you can actually smooth it right on out, you know, a little bit more so, and have more smoother contours. Make sure you catch everything, but then it kind of throws you into doing some stuff like that. So for myself, it's probably better off the way we had it. It looks pretty close to what theirs is. Come back down. You might want to go up one more or something like that, but for the most part, when I come in here and do that, it's going to get, this is going to be pretty accurate. And you can see that our contour lines are a little heavier, aren't they? Or they're red in color as opposed to our intermediates. So what I want to do on this is I want to go ahead and on my layers I'll find that index contour, and I want to make it a little bit wider. Okay, so we just got to scroll here just a little bit. Center text, here's my index. We're going to add a little thickness into that. Okay, we'll add like a 0.7 or something like that. We want to turn our line weight on. I can turn that on and you can actually see it a little bit more so. But this would be a very, very good contour of this, and looks a little bit different from the image you got, but according to our numbers, this is what Carlson come up with, and it's going to be really accurate when we use this. So now putting it onto a paper, I'm going to put it on B size here and to see what happens. Again, I want to go in here and click on this, and I want to use I didn't make a viewport layer, so I just click on 0 for the time being. Now, this is what is different between using an AutoCAD base and IntelliCAD base. Using AutoCAD base, you can just type in viewports or viewports, whichever one you want to use. And I can go to single viewport and hit OK and come up here and click there down to here. Puts it in, no problems. And let's go to 1 to 50 and see what that looks like. It ain't going to fit, okay? So I'll have to go to C-size paper to make this one fit, and that is just fine. And what we would do is just go in here and do the same thing, viewports, and it should pop up. And when I do that, single, okay, just like that. 1 to 50, it should fall into place, and perfect. And then just go ahead and put all of your stuff in there too, like your annotate. You want your bar scale. I'll put a bar scale in there. Also annotate, I want to put my north arrow. We're going to stick a north arrow in here. And if you'll notice, I goofed up on it. I need it. There we go. And then I'll go back to paper so I can't goof it up. And one thing else you want to do is, in my model, I want to hide my grids. Okay? And I should have had those numbers also in the grid form, so I could have hid those. So on your drawing, this is your layout of that property. Okay? And you can leave that box in there if you want to for the grid, but this right here gives you a layout of how that was going to look. So I'm going to go back and just turn my grid back on, and that provides a pretty good look of it. So put it on C-size paper, fill out your title box. But again, whenever I put this in an AutoCAD base, it's viewports, but if I do it in IntelliCAD, it's going to be MV, make viewports. MV, make viewports. And you just type MV in, and then you'll have the options to do that. So, again, if you have any questions, please contact me, and I'll help you through it.